how did you figure out to start with why? Why not what or how, right? I mean, who's on first, right? I mean, it's...
Why start with why is based
Yeah.
on biology.
Okay.
I mean, I recognize that there was a pattern in how great marketers would market themselves, that, you know, that they would all speak in the same way, which I thought was interesting. And I wrote down that pattern. And the original golden circle was why, what, how. And I went and
How did you figure that? When did that happen for you?
A long time ago. I was simply trying to figure out why some marketing worked and some marketing didn't.
When you were with your marketing
No,
agency?
when I started my own.
Okay.
Because I knew that some did and some didn't.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the creative team, because the same creative team could make good stuff and bad stuff. And it wasn't the client. So there had to be something else at work. So that I recognized there was a pattern. And I wrote down that pattern. And I met somebody it was a dinner party whose parents were neuroscientists, and she started telling me about the limbic brain and the neocortex. And it was interesting. And I went and read about it when I got home, which is like neuroscience 101. It's not controversial, you know, neuroscience.
Sure.
And I realized that little idea that I had on a shelf overlapped perfectly with how people make decisions. So that's why that worked in marketing, but that means it was bigger than marketing. It was about how we operate all the time. And so I started talking about this thing called the Golden Circle, and eventually sought out counsel from a famous neuroscientist named Dr. Peter Wybrow. I needed him to look at the idea because I'm not a neuroscientist. And I was saying this overlaps with the human brain. Was that even true?
Yeah.
And so I spent a weekend with him and like filled him with all my ideas. And I remember Sunday morning he walked in uncomfortable. I said, "What's bothering you, Peter?" He said, "You have it in the wrong order. If you want it to match the biology, it has to go why, how, what. Your definitions are fine, but if you want it to match the brain, it has to go why, how, what." And I went, done.
Yeah, well, you kept the why in the middle, though.
Of course,
Yeah,
the why was the middle. That was the
That's
piece
the most
that was
important.
That was the piece that was missing.
Yeah.
But it does. It overlaps with the biology of human decision making. So it's not my opinion.
Yeah.
It's biology.
Yeah.
And it's why, to your point, it's why sales works. It's why relationships work. It's why all these things, because it's how people work.